My little backyard was my sanctuary. It was quiet, private, and the only place I could truly unwind. That all changed when the house next door sold. The new owner, a guy named Kevin, with more money than sense, decided his first project was a massive 2-story entertainer's deck. The problem? He built it so close to the property line that I could practically reach out and touch his grill from my kitchen window. It was a monstrous invasion of privacy. I watched the construction with growing anxiety. When they laid the final boards, the edge of his deck was a mere 6 inches from my property. His weekend parties now felt like they were happening in my living room. The smoke from his BBQ blew directly into my windows, and his loud conversations echoed through my entire house. My sanctuary was gone, replaced by a permanent front row seat to Kevin's obnoxious lifestyle. I tried talking to him first. "Hey, Kevin," I said, catching him one afternoon. "Your deck is incredible, but it's extremely close to my house. The noise and smoke are becoming a real issue." He just smirked. "Got all the permits, buddy? It's built to code. Maybe get some thicker windows." I went to the city planning office. They confirmed his permits were valid. The setback requirement was absurdly only 6 inches. They told me there was nothing they could do. I felt completely powerless. He was legally allowed to ruin my peace and quiet. But then, as I was rereading the city code, I found my weapon. The code was clear, while the deck itself was legal. Any permanent structure or fixture attached to the property line required a different permit or the neighbor's consent. My plan was simple, legal, and downright beautiful. The next weekend, while Kevin had a dozen people over, I started my project. I went to a salvage yard and bought 10 old, rusty, mismatched steel support poles, the kind used for industrial buildings. I then spent the afternoon cementing them into the ground on my property, precisely 1 inch from the property line. They were ugly, imposing, and ran the entire length of his deck, soaring a full 10 feet above his deck's railing. Kevin stormed over, his face purple. "What is that monstrosity?" He screamed over the sound of his own party music. "It's a trellis," I said calmly. "My new passion fruit vines. They need something tall to climb." He was furious. "You can't do that? It's blocking my view." "It's on my property, Kevin," I replied, pointing to the survey flags I'd reinstalled. "And since it's just a set of poles for my garden, it's not a permanent fence or structure that violates any code." He tried to sue, but his lawyer told him what I already knew. I was perfectly within my rights. The poles were technically a garden feature. The only way he could get me to take them down was to tear down his deck and rebuild it further away. Today my trellis stands tall. The vines are starting to grow, but the ugly poles have done their job. Kevin rarely uses his deck anymore. The view is just too depressing. Now tell me, would you have built the trellis, or just learned to live with the noise? Do you like subscribe?